Hello, good after whatever period of time it was just occurred before the time that you're watching right now. In this case, it's good afternoon for me. This is Glenn from Academy Singing Bowls, looking off to the side because I'm doing this podcast horizontally so as to give you a better view of the bowls. And I guess the camera thingy is over there, so I'm going to try to ignore that and stare instead in the center of the screen. In any case, you needed to know that, and you also need to know that I'm about to demonstrate a set of 5 Remuna style singing bowls that I put together for somebody who will hopefully like it. Remuna style bowls are sort of a rare subclass of thado. They tend to be sort of rounded on the bottom, sort of have a gentle slope. They have very finely worked rims. They're not. Let me see. I should have kept one. They're not rough hewn. Just a second here. I'm intending, and hopefully actually shall, demonstrate the talking bowls mentioned in the title here. And this one here is one of the talking bowls I'm planning to demonstrate. And you can see that in comparison with the one I was just showing you, that the side of this one, at least hopefully you can see, is much more uneven, much bumpier. You can see sort of almost flattish areas, if it were, the individual hammer marks, where the bottom is kind of rounded, but not as smooth and almost featureless. Well, sorry, it's got lots of features, but what I mean is you can feel the hammer marks. You can see that they're there, especially on the bottom. Hello, who's ever tuned in? I'm demonstrating a set of Remuna style singing bowls right now, and it's just talking a little bit about what Remuna bowls. Hi. Sorry. What Remuna bowls are. And in this, as I say, they're a sort of higher caliber of singing bowls. They're a subclass of thado. They're fairly rare. I don't have a huge number of them, despite having hundreds of singing bowls. And they tend to have pretty good sounds. So I've put together a set of 5 of them for a request, and hopefully my client will like it. If they don't, well, hopefully somebody else will. In any case, here they are. I'm just going to put this one here. There's a little bit of a buzz when I rang it there, but I think that was the paper next to it on the table. Yeah, no buzz when I do it like that. So I'm just going to reposition it a little bit, as well as put something under it to dampen the effect of the table. A lot of singing bowls are pretty forgiving as to what sort of surface you play them on. This one here, see, I've got this on the surface of my drafting table, and it's got one of those self-annealing plastic covers on it, but it seems to dampen the sound of this one a little bit. Anyway, here we try this again. Now I put this back so it's not touching this bit of paper that's on the table in front of it. I posted a bunch of pictures of these the other day, so if you're curious about knowing or looking at these a little bit better, you can look at the pictures. Yeah, and in any case, this is a Remuna bowl set, as I mentioned earlier. Sometime, not today, hopefully in the near future, I will be demonstrating the remaining Remuna bowls that I have on hand, at least the ones that I've been able to find. But for today, I'm going to demonstrate some talking singing bowls. But before that, just to be obnoxious, I'm going to play this beautiful stand bowl just a little bit because anyway, this one might not be for sale. That's why I was saying it was obnoxious of me. I've been digging out a whole bunch of bowls that I'd set aside for various reasons and centralizing them and reacquainting myself with some of them. Thing is, when I got, pardon me, when I first got into this business of selling singing bowls, I was working a full-time Monday to Friday day job, and so a lot of these bowls came in and I got them out of their packaging and listened to them a little bit and really haven't had much of a chance to acquaint myself with them since. So this is a nice opportunity for me to stack bowls in pretty piles, but also to reacquaint myself with some friends that I've been neglecting. In any case, this has been the Remuna bowl set. And now for the bad singing. And now even more bad singing. And well, you know, the bad singing on goes. So here are the talking singing bowls. That's right. As opposed to the singing bowls. These ones talk. They use a different part of their brain that way. Sorry, I'm just being silly. So, unfortunately, in no particular order, some talking bowls that I happened to find when going through my stock. Most of them are the larger size. I've got a few smaller ones over here. I'll hopefully find more of these as time goes on, but my suppliers don't label them, and I only became gradually aware that they existed. It's sort of what a talking bowl is, at least how I'm using the term, is a bowl that gives you a bit of a extra tone. It works best if you hit it with a mallet or something blunt, where you flex your hand underneath the bottom, and this one doesn't sing doesn't talk very loudly, it seems. Let's see if I can find a better one. I think this one talks pretty loudly. Let's see. Yeah. Generally, it talks in a higher tone than the bass tone. I think I might have one here. It's super rare. Might not be for sale for that reason. Is this one? No. This one. Maybe none of them. That one talks very loudly. Anyway, so now that you're acquainted with what a talking bowl is, I shall demonstrate and talk about the talking bowls that I'm going to talk about. Okay. Here is Talking Bowl 105, Bowl 1000 to 1024. It's very smooth to the touch. The rim is very worn. Inside has a fairly attractive mottling patina, fair amount of staining and discoloration, a bit of bluish oxidation. Bottom is very flat. That implies that it's pretty old, and as does the extreme smoothness of the bowl. And it's $105. What a bargain. Note of E, 460 grams. I'm trying a new labeling system here. You can sort of see it has bowl number in the lower right, pitch in the upper right. Actually, since you're seeing this reversed, it might not be that way. Talking, type of bowl, weight, price. So brilliant, huh? And obviously, I was being very generous. Sometimes there's a certain sweet spot, on the bowl, where you get a greater effect than elsewhere. So, on this one, it's not a very strong effect. The fact of it being so smooth probably means that it's going to be very easy to drone, and probably have a lot of overtones. When you're drawing it, you can, if you can manage it, the coordination, you can flex your hand, and that too will cause the bowl to talk. Please forgive me. Wah 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 wah. Sorry, message given to me by my Facebook telling me somebody is live right now. So, if you drone it, so you get the second tone, like so. You can sort of hear it talking with that drone tone. Okay, this has been Bowl 1024, note of E, 105 bargain dollars, 460 grams. And next in our cavalcade of amazing singing bowls, it's Talking Bowl 861, $135, 660 grams, note of A. And it's, once again, a fairly smooth. The rim is much thicker than in the other one. You can sort of see. And it's probably just thicker to begin with, or alternatively, it's not as old. It is very smooth, not quite as smooth as the other one, but still within, most of the hammer marks are gone. The inside is much shinier and cleaner than the other one. Not much remains of decoration, though I see here on the bottom, I don't know if it'll, yeah, you can sort of see that, a coppery area. This has got a copper bloom on it, so that's where the metals that were put together to forge the bowl did not melt together completely, because the fire probably, I believe, because the fire wasn't hot enough, probably due to the altitude and the lack of necessary oxygen to make a hot fire. Anyway, here's what bowl 861 sounds like. It's got a very pleasant tone. You hear it kind of talks when I drone it. And looking at the inside here, I see that these coppery bits occur quite a number of places. It's really quite a... I have some that I keep just because the pattern is so pretty that way. And it is a fairly... It's not the most common sort of thing. It's not hugely rare. Anyway, here it is. Bowl 861, $135. Note of A. Here is a rather rough-hewn, in comparison looking, talking bowl. You can see it's got what are referred to as Ritual Gash Marks all around the rim. If memory serves, those are supposed to have been most common in the 15th to 17th centuries. That would be the 1400s to 1600s, which means that this bowl could be between 400 and 600 years old. Duh. So, seems to bear some remains of inscribed decorations along the side. Bottom is quite full of character, and you see this large bit of oxidized metal. Once again, has a fair amount of blooms on it, what we call coppery bits. And yeah, bowls like this, which are really old and have sort of a decoration pattern which is a little inconsistent with another decoration pattern on the bowl, I sometimes wonder if they've been redecorated at some point in their existence, because as I said, there's quite clear remnants of some inscribed decorations here along the side, these lines. But usually these bowls, well, I shouldn't say this as if I'm some sort of expert or something, but the bowls that I've had. Anyway, this is Talking Bowl 1019. It's a G note, 1,000 grams, that's a kilogram, and it costs $230. There's a surprisingly high pitch. And a surprisingly difficult to find voice. Why'd I say it talked? When I find that sweet spot, it better be very sweet. Have to really get it going, and then the pitch which comes out is actually pretty low. Here, we'll try this again. So you see why I don't necessarily detect all of these right away. So I don't know if you did hear that sort of lower pitch, wom, 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 wom. It's actually it talks on the bass note rather than the higher up, which is not like most of the ones I have which talk. Anyway, it's quite a nice, substantial feeling bowl, even though it's definitely more rough hewn, less worn than the others. And once again, with this so this pattern around the edge really feels quite worn. As I said, I sometimes wonder if they just sort of maybe shave the top of it off a little bit to make it gleam a little bit more, because they don't care about antiques in a lot of other countries that are older than Canada and the States. Here if something's over 100 years old, it's sort of like, over in Britain, you can live in a place that's been around since the 1600s. You can rent it as an apartment, from what I understand from reading online. So, older things are much more common in some parts of the world. It's doth seem. This is Talking Bull 1019. It's a G note. It's $230, and I wonder, does it fit on my head? Not quite. Too bad. Have you ever seen pictures online of people with a singing bowl on top of their head? It looks like some sort of, they're getting some sort of weird haircut or something. In any case, I have tried it, of course. The sound is, it's okay. It's kind of cool. Like, as I said, I felt like I was wearing some sort of weird army helmet or something. In any case, here is, hello, who's ever here, Talking Bowl, number 860. It's got a note of A flat, 750 grams, $165. And once again, it's a fairly substantial, older style bowl with the Ritual Gash Marks on it that I was talking about with the other bowl. Not as big and bold as and for that matter, they're sort of almost vanish in some parts of the rim here. I see once again some remnants of some inscribed decoration. I should perhaps show you what I mean. Here's a somewhat newer, or at least less worn bowl, and you can see the lines on this a little bit more clearly. So this is, what one of these bowls might have looked like when it was newer. So, here we go again with the tone. Here is the tone. Oh, that's loud, eh? Should have started with this one. Oh well. Sometimes, but not always, one of these talking bowls will have a little concavity at the bottom, sort of. And incidentally, while I'm on that, you can actually play these singing bowls on the bottom. It sounds a little bit like a steel drum. Some works better than others. Usually the note you get is not at all the same as the other. I put together for a while a singing bowl gamelan, that's what I called it, which featured about 20 or 30 singing bowls all turned upside down. I did a few recordings. Unfortunately, I've dismantled it, and I'd have to start from scratch if I was going to do it again. Anyway, here it is, bowl 860. It talks remarkably loudly. It's 165. No, it's 322. It's special. Any case, I generally charge a little bit more for them because they're so rare. Probably should charge more, but this way people that buy these bowls from me can use them as an investment. So. Bowl 860, note of A flat. Talks pretty loudly, and it's $165. There we are. Okay, and I still have more. And wait, no, these aren't talking bowls. This is another set. Okay. So, here we have another stack of beautiful talking bowls. And this is beautiful talking bowl number 1020. It's got a note of F sharp. It weighs 700 grams. It costs 180. It's very smooth. It's very flat on the bottom. It's got not much in the way of oxidation on the outside, but on the inside you can see these copper blooms I was talking about before. Should I stop singing? Has it become a bore? Anyway, yes, there's some circular decorations on the inside there. Hello, whoever tuned in, you just missed me singing. Would you like to hear me sing again? Anyway, this is Talking Bowl number 1020. It's an F sharp. It weighs 180 grams and, 700 grams. It costs $180. And this is what it sounds like. Doesn't talk very loud, not nearly as loud as the one I just demonstrated a moment ago. Ooh, you can certainly feel the... Oh, there, that works better. So once again, if you drone this one, associate the second note, it's much more noticeable. Here, let's try this again. So, yeah, you have to hit it pretty loud or drone it to get that talking effect. And once again, this is, I mentioned why I don't find these all right away. Part of when I'm testing a bowl after having gotten it in is to see if it's got any defects. The most common defect is having a buzzing sound or something like that. And so I will often give a bowl a pretty good... And so that's probably when I notice these effects. And so that's how these bowls get in, is talking bowls, even though they're not very loud talking bowls. In any case, they're still pretty good bowls otherwise. Just in every other bowly sort of aspect. And, just as a side note, these singing bowls, even if they're not very good, even if, they don't have a good sound, and of course I don't demonstrate those ones very often, they're still perfectly good handmade brass bowls. So, in any case, this has been Bowl 1020. And moving right along at the pace of an elephantine Arctic cold air mass. This is Talking Bowl number 866, F sharp, 850 grams, $185. What a bargain! And in this case, this is just a little bit more decorated. It's a different style bowl than the ones we've seen so far. We don't have these Ritual Gash Marks around the edge. We have some sort of... They're not punched... well, they might be, but they're sort of little dashes rather than little holes or little dots that I see on the rims of some bowls. Once again, is this a good example? This is a semi-good example. I don't know if you can make out the punched decorations around the rim of this one, but there's actually a combination of dots and lines. Dots with lines connecting them. In any case, could be from Bhutan. I seem to recall that style of bowl comes from that part of the world. So this is bowl 866. Let's see how loudly it talks. Some of the others have been a little disappointing to start with. This one, that's got a lower tone. it doesn't show up when I drone the second tone like with the others. Let's see. Keeping the lower tone on these bowls is a bit of a challenge. If you go too fast or if you push too hard, you end up getting the second tone. So if you want to get that first tone and you want to get it loud, you have to be very patient and do it very gradually. Can be done. Generally, I don't have the patience these days, or the time, I'm not sure which. But if it's for something important, like a demo video, of course I have the time. I hear a little bit of, 1-1 when I do that, but it's still a very nice bowl. It's still a nice bowl. Very resonant. And yeah. It's just plain harder to hear the deeper notes, just as a general acoustical thing, so that's not bad, all things considered. Okay, and just a few more to go here, and then maybe I do have time to demonstrate another bowl set I happened to find when I was going through my stock. So this is bowl 865, and it's the, I guess you could say, well, the roughest looking one yet. You can sort of see that the side is very textured. And do I see any? I don't see remains of any ritual gash marks or anything like that. The top seems to be pushed in just a little bit, so when this was newer, it quite possibly had a more decorative rim. As a moment, it's semi-decorative. I do think that there is probably there were some lines around the edge here, and you can see that there's some circular decorations on the inside. This is bowl 865. It's 900 grams. It's F sharp. Incidentally, F sharp was the most common pitch, the most common tone for this set, for these talking bowls that I remember. Which is a bit disappointing because it makes it more difficult to make a set out of them, but oh well. Anyway, and it's $210. Once again, it doesn't seem to talk very loud. It's got a whole smorgasbord of different tones. And bowl 865, note of F sharp with lots of overtones. 900 grams, $210. This one might not be for sale, but I can't hurt to ask. It's just the sticker on the inside says NFS. At the moment, I'm listening to it and thinking that, no, I can probably part with this one. But anyway, this is bowl 281. It's got a note of F sharp. It's $150, or does I have to sell it, and 500 grams. And let's see if it talks very loudly. It's very smooth around the rim, so that probably means I should be able to get. I haven't done the third tone thing for any of the bowls this video, but I think I can probably do it for this. Most bowls, you can get at least two tones. The bottom tone of which is referred to as the yang tone. The second tone, the higher tone, yeah, is referred to as the yin tone. And then, on some bowls, you can also get a third, even louder tone. As we say in the song, as it says now, hurts so good. Oh, baby, make it hurt so good. Sometimes bowls don't sound like they should. Anyway, so this has been bowl 281, F sharp, $150. Might not be for sale, but probably is. Can't hurt to ask. The worst I can do is say, no! Okay, and now the smaller ones, which I mentioned are pretty rare. Maybe I want to sell them either. What am I doing, a podcast or a stand-up, sit-down comic thing? In any case, this is Talking Bowl 1023. It's got a note of D, and it's 340 grams and costs $80. It's pretty worn. I don't see much in the way of former decorations on it. Well, I see over here, once again, the semi-ubiquitous remains of lined decorations which go around the side. And some circular decorations on the inside. But on the whole, compared with a lot of the other ones I've been showing, it's pretty smooth and shiny and without blemishes. Has a bit of a sweet spot for sure. Ooh, there's that third note almost right away. I wonder if I could get a fourth. In any case, this is bowl 1023. It's $80. Sun's still out. I should probably wrap up this podcast soon so I can maybe go for a walk and enjoy the sunlight, if not necessarily the cold breeze. Anyway, there it was. Bowl 1023, $80, note of D. And that's what it sounds like. Sorry. And this is Talking Bowl 1030. It's got a note of C. 280 grams, $65. Probably should charge more because C notes are pretty rare. Either because they're just rare to start with or because people are looking for root chakra bowls and tend to buy them first. And plus, of course, C is just an inherently nice note. I guess I'm one of those people who does believe that certain pitches, certain scales or whatever, do have certain personalities. The small size of this bowl makes it a little bit difficult to demonstrate that talking aspect. I think you can still hear it. In any case, it's very smooth. Does have some remains of Ritual Gash Marks on the side here. That are very worn. So it's probably quite ancient. It's one of those bowls that just always feels so nice just to touch it. You know what I mean? It's so smooth. You can still see that there's, on the inside especially, you can see the remains of the hammer marks more, but on the outside it's very smooth. Anyway, I'm a goof. And two more, and then we're at the end of our singing bowls, and then I decide whether or not I'm going to demonstrate that. I will, just briefly, demonstrate the 7-bowl set that I found. Alright, this one is also a note of D. I had a D note just a moment ago, not the last one, but the one before that. Bowl 1022, 300 grams, $70. And this is what it soundeth liketh. Now, some people put water in these bowls first before they attempt to make them talk. It probably would work, might work a little bit better, but I'm generally not in the habit of putting water in the bowls when I'm testing them. And for me, it's not all that big, that thing sounds like dolphins. It should be said dolphins that have had their voices slowed down, I think, to a pitch at which we can hear them. Oh, oddly enough, with a lot of these bowls, I've been, preferring to demonstrate with this, but this one actually, the talking effect seems to be more demonstrable with using striker. Yeah. Definitely. Wum wum. Getting a little winded here. Okay, here we go again. So, this was bowl 1022 I'm demonstrating. Just getting a little distracted by the better talking properties when I hit it with the striker. And I'm almost certain I could get a third tone on this one, but I'm not gonna, because somebody in the next room doesn't like high pitches. And also I'm getting a little winded and tired, and okay, this one is probably not for sale, because no, I just like it, and it's sort of when I've been going through these old stock, or this old stock, occasionally I sort of come across and say, oh yes, I remember you, in this case. Also, it's damaged in two places now. I just noticed the second one right now, is there's actually a bit of the wall is fractured and pushed in right here, and I hadn't noticed that until just this very moment. What I had noticed before is just that there is, you probably won't be able to see it, but just the very tiniest pinprick hole here in the bottom of the bowl. And so, I try not to sell damaged bowls or bowls which have holes, but nevertheless, it's once again very smooth, very flat on the bottom, has a pretty sort of patina, and I just love holding it. So, but so this is bowl 1021, probably not for sale because it's got a hole in it and it's got a bit of the side also damaged and fractured or whatever, and I like it, despite the fact it's being damaged goods. So, now I'm going to briefly demonstrate another bowl set that I found when I was going through my stock this afternoon. Well, I have to confess that, just occasionally I put a bowl or two aside for myself over the years. And as I get older, I find that, okay, well, I guess I can probably do without this one, without that one, or whatever. I don't know why I'm talking about that, because these bowls are not that case. But I've been sort of going through the bowls I put aside for myself and sort of looking at them and saying, okay, can I bear to part with this one now? I've had it 5 years. I don't need it. I've got others like it. You know the drill. And I happened to find this set, which I believe I put together just because. I love making sets, and since I've managed to sell a few lately, I might make a few more just for the fun of it, maybe podcast. Hello, Relatable Mentat. Hello, Richard. Hello, Richard. I'm Glenn. Nice to make your acquaintance again. I'm near the end of this podcast, but questions or whatever, you can ask or you can message me afterwards. I'm just about to demonstrate a somewhat cheaper set of singing bowls than the Manny singing... Manny? No. Remuna, there we go, singing bowl set I demonstrated earlier. This one has bowls in it that are priced anywhere from 120, just 95. It would probably be a few $100s if somebody's interested in this set. I usually give discounts when there are larger purchases because, well, that's what I expect when I buy a lot of stuff. And here we go. Here's what this set sounds like. Oh, it's no worries. You know, I generally, I'm still podcasting.
Oh, wow, yeah,
I generally,
yes. It's going well, I guess.
It's going okay.
Okay,
People
cool.
tuned in.
Everybody enjoys getting some bowls.
Yes. Anyway, just somebody was surprised I still podcasting. I generally don't give people notice that I'm doing these things or schedule them. I really ought to, because that makes it easier for people to, well, make these things if they want to make it live. Anyway, glad you're able to make this one. So, without further ado, here's this singing bowl set. I'll talk about just a little bit. This is the first bowl in the set. It's bowl 143. It's got these Ritual Gash Marks around the edge here, which some people think are for tuning. I think that they're either decorative or possibly religious in sort of intent. Bottom is still fairly bumpy, so this bowl is probably not the oldest. Wouldn't mind having yet one more higher note. That's not it. This one in the background. Any case, I'll just talk a bit more about a few of the other ones in here. This bowl has got a bunch of line punched dash decorations around the edge. It's pretty smooth to the touch. It's got an inscription on it somewhere. It says here, oh yes, you can see here on the side, it's got an inscription. Not sure what language that would be. It's probably the name of a person or a festival or a place or a deity. It's pretty worn. Bowl 91. And this is another bowl which seems to have some punched decorations around the edge along with remains of some lines. The bottom's pretty smooth and flat, which implies that it's fairly old, but there's a fair amount of texture on the sides, so not as old as some. There used to be a bit of a rim around the edge here, it looks like. I'm just wondering. This is not the same sort of bowl. This is a Manny bowl. Yes, it's got a very cool sound. You see around the edge of the rim here, this sort of decoration. So this bowl that I was just showing here probably had that at some point in time. My voice is getting a little bit hoarse. In any case, here is yet another small... Now this one's got these markings around the edge, but they're so close to the top, and the edge here is so flat. I almost wonder if somebody shaved the top off of this one. People, what they'll do. In any case, it's fairly smooth, but still a little bit of texture on the bottom. Probably not the oldest bowl. This one doesn't actually have a number on it, but it's number 4 in this set. When I'm making these sets, I usually play a number of melodies or whatever, just improvised on these. I also play the intervals. Try to make sure that each pair of bowls sounds good together. Some sound a little nicer than others. You know, I happen to like this pairing of bowls 91 and 94. Bowl number 5 in this set is very smooth once again to the touch. The rim is very smooth as well. I can see that there's some remains of what might be just plain old dot decorations at the top, but which could also be the remains of what are also called void pattern, void decorations. This is in my personal collection. I don't have a lot of these in stock because, well, they're very popular and they sell. But you can see the sort of dot with a circle around it. I'm thinking that that's probably what this is. Okay, and those are supposedly from the 16th to 1800s. There's not a lot of scholarly material available on this, and the only book that on these bowls, only book I know that treats of them, scholarly research, only has like 20 pages out of a 500-page book. And it's called Indo-European Bronzes by Heinrich Ulrich or something like that. In any case, bowl number 5. Pretty powerful sound. And bowl number 6, a wee little thing. I priced it here at $40. Once again, you know, the individual prices will be reduced if the bowl is bought in a set. Such a tiny little thing. I don't see much in the way of decorations around the rim. The rim is, you know, quite noticeably, you know, uneven. These things are definitely not produced in a factory to standards. And the last bowl in this set, I shouldn't sell this one either, but it's very nice to feel. It's got a very smooth, sorry, just stuff here on the side catching the corner of my shirt. Very smooth to the touch. Looks as if there were some decorations on it at some point around the rim. This is possibly, I don't have one, possibly the same style bowl as this one here, just even more worn. It's, you know, fairly heavy to the sort of dense. What is the size of a typical set? Oh, I have sets, you know, from like 2 to 7 to, I think the biggest set I ever made was like 21. The one on top of my altar has 17 bowls in it. But even just 2 of them can be really nice, like this pairing here. If you're a musician, I think that that's pretty close to a perfect fifth. So yeah, even just 2 can be nice. I have sets of 2, 3, 4, 5, you know, 6, pretty much everything. So, and of course, the newer bowls are quite nice. I don't seem to have any right on hand to show you, but they tend to be much less expensive than the antique bowls. They tend to sound much more alike in terms of their character. Yeah, you're welcome. In terms of their sort of family resemblance, whereas these other bowls have been made not in a factory by the same set of technicians or same set of workers, but across a wider geographical and time. Yeah. So I think that that's going to be pretty close to it for this demo for now. I'm going to try to do another one fairly soon because I've still got all these bowls on the floor of my room and on the table and everywhere. What's nice about these sets is that they'll sound kind of similar to um, regular scales, but they're not quite because none of these are to concert pitch, or if they are, it's accidental. And so the sound is at once new and different at the same time because the chords that you're getting are not quite what you get on a piano or a guitar or whatever else. Well, you could maybe get on a guitar, but they don't have the acoustic complexity of these bowls. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. Look for it. Cool. Today is Monday. I'll try to do another one tomorrow in the evening. I'm wary of promising things. If you don't happen to catch me live, well, I'll try to be more reliable. Maybe I'll post a notice when I've decided when I'm going to do the next one. In any case, thank you for tuning in. It's been a pleasure, and